1 second. Much better. Now one more thing. Levioso. Make sure the hair is all set. Alright, back. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be discussing about Uncharted 3 and its connection to the Disney fairy tale and stories. In the previous episode, like how we compared Harry Potter and the Disney franchise and stories, today we'll be doing the same thing as well. The difference is that today we'll be covering a PlayStation 3 exclusive video game. Some background information about Uncharted 3 is that it was the third game of the franchise and it was released 2011 for the PlayStation 3 exclusive. Now the video game is the third entry of the franchise and it follows Nathan Drake as he finds another treasure area, which is the Rubal Khali Desert, and he's looking for this gold treasure called
So this is the
gem.
Rubal Khali Desert, and right now Drake is looking around for the treasure and the whereabouts. And this is the main treasure, the Jinn, which Drake is trying to find at the end of the game.
Like Tom and Jerry, both Nathan Drake and Catherine and her army are in this cat and mouse game where one tries to find the treasure and the other one the same thing, vice versa. Whenever Nathan Drake finds the treasure, Catherine catches him and he has to give another secret information. He does this once more and again he has to hand over the item or something he found. And this cat and mouse game goes from the beginning to the end until Drake finds the real treasure, and whether he ends up giving it to Catherine or takes it up all is the whole point of this.
So this is a moment in the game where Catherine in the right side captures Drake and his best friend Sullivan and is asking them about the whereabouts of any clues about the treasure.
Now that's enough for the background information. Let's get to the real aspect of this video, which is how is Uncharted 3 connected to some of Disney's films and story and fairy tales we all know and read. Uncharted 3's connection, one can be the character development that Drake has, especially in the beginning of the game. His sort of character and persona can be connected to Ryder from Tangled and Prince Naveen from Princess and the Frog. In the beginning of both the Disney films, Ryder and Naveen are two people that work for their own, glory. They don't care about anything too much, they don't take anything serious, and they always just want to have fun. They're always giving out witty rumors, saying wise jokes and, just being, having fun. They never take anything serious. One example being where when Prince Naveen is a frog and he literally needs to get a kiss to turn back, he still uses that opportunity to still use his lady charm to try to entice Tiana to, have a kiss and everything. So he has that charm from the beginning of the movie until the very end, where he changes. And the same thing with Ryder, when he's working with two other people to steal an item, and at a point where the two people help Ryder to reach a cliff or a hill, Ryder abandons them and leaves them for the cops to get them, and he just, works for himself, for his own glory, if you say. And in the games, especially in the beginning of Uncharted 3, Drake is, someone that works for his own glory, and, he gives witty one-liners whenever he can and if possible. And he never takes anything too serious, despite being, facing danger for the past two games and even in this one. He still manages to have that cocky persona. He still believes that nothing can, get him. He doesn't fear anything. And that persona sort of changes, like with the two Disney princes, as the game continues and eventually when it ends in the climax. Also, another connecting factor between two storytelling mediums is the karma factor slash, fate, destiny factor that both mediums have. And especially in Disney movies, the princesses are shown as, gentle, humble human beings who talk to birds and animals and whatnot. And, when they're faced with a lot of rejection, negativity, hatred, they're still able to look at the positive side and, still able to live the lives they want and still pursue their dreams. Like Tiana, who still saves up her money despite people saying, you have a bad dream. And, she always believes that she will make her own restaurant. And another key example would be in Cinderella, when despite the step family, rejecting her, making her do all the chores, treating her, disrespectfully, she's still able to stay positive and humble, which allows her to have a fairy godmother and eventually live a happily ever after life and marry a Prince Charming in that matter. This can also be seen in the third movie of the Aladdin franchise, where Kasim, Aladdin's father, is able to change his roots of being a thief as he throws away the hand of Midas, the treasure that he's been always looking for, and he sacrifices that treasure for his own son so that he could live a peaceful life. So destiny plays a very crucial part in especially Disney fairy tales because, they're rewarded for what they did, for being selflessness, for being gentle. They're being rewarded for
So
that
like
act.
in the examples mentioned before, this is a scene in the video game where Salim convinces Drake about the truth of the jinn and why it shouldn't be found by anyone or taken for anyone, as it is extremely evil and it can cause great havoc. This is where Drake realizes what he has gotten into and realizes he doesn't need the treasure. Also, a quick side note and another factor that contributes to my research is the Orientalism idea that Edward Said expressed in his paper. In this video game, this character named Salim is also a European sort of viewpoint of an Arabian tribe member, with a goatee, a blue sort of turban hat, and a sort of brownish skin tone. This is an example of Orientalism found in the video game Uncharted 3, and how it connects to Edward Said's viewpoint of Orientalism. This sort of idea is also showcased in Princess and the Frog, where Tiana, being the first black-colored princess, is only obsessed with her dream of making money for her restaurant, that becoming friends and eventually falling in love with Prince Naveen and having a best friend as a firefly are kind of shown in a more small demeanor, whereas she's always reminded that she has to make money for her restaurant in every single note of the movie.
Well, that about concludes my presentation on the video game I chose, which was Uncharted 3, and I was able to connect it to a lot of the Disney fairy tale stories I read and watched in this course, and also using outside sources of my own. In conclusion, I enjoyed this deep dive into my favorite video game and to be able to connect it to a lot of Disney storytelling mediums and to be able to find a lot of connections and similarities that I even thought wasn't even possible was a true blessing. All in all, I enjoyed this project and I also enjoyed making this video. So please hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification. and I'll see you guys at the next SSH video. Peace.
I was there when needed someone.